Greetings, Algo artisans. So the big question, when am I going to buy Solana? I'm not quite ready yet, but we got a couple of things I'm looking at that are going to signal when I'm interested in picking up some more. I think Solana's a great coin. We're going to talk about it right now. But before we get into it, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're following this on X, please follow my profile and like the video. That helps us get more content out to you. So here we go. First, I want to talk a little bit about what's happening in the events in the coming week. We got a couple of things that are going to hold price where it is, or even cause it to fall a little bit, cause money to be on the sidelines. One of them is going to be the PCE report coming out on Friday. I always pay attention to these economic events as I am a Forex trader and a crypto trader. I'm a currency trader by nature. And the PCE report it's the secondary inflation type report that the Fed looks at when they make their decision for what they're going to do with the interest rate. And of course, if you've been following me and following anything and just basically not under a rock in the finance world, the Fed's interest rate is very key right now, what happens to a lot of markets. If the Fed wants to hike the interest rate because they want to tame inflation, then the markets tend to maybe take a hit. If the Fed wants to not hike, pause, or even cut the interest rate because inflation has been tamed, then the markets tend to want to go up. And we're going to find out next Wednesday at the FOMC. So Friday is going to be an inflation report that comes out prior to the FOMC. That's going to have a lot to do with what people think will happen with the FOMC, which is the Fed Open Market Committee, and that FOMC is next Wednesday, I believe. So actually here, let's take a look at what Investopedia has to say about that. Here's an article, the next Fed meeting, when it is in January and what to expect. It says here, the next Federal Open Market Committee meeting will be held on January 30 through 31, 2024. This is one of the key dates that investors, economists, and policymakers mark on their calendars. Many experts think the Fed, many experts expect the Fed to hold rates steady at a target of 5.25 to 5.50%, but the FOMC has signaled several rate cuts through 2024 as inflation eases and the economy slows, although they will be proceeding carefully. So Friday's data might have a lot to do with what the FOMC does. If Friday's data from the PCE, which is an inflationary metric, if that data is surprisingly low or surprisingly high, that might change the expectations for Wednesday. Now, if the Fed holds steady, then that's going to be an indication that the markets may want to go up. Now, that may not actually happen, but it's what everybody thinks is going to happen. And I think once that comes out, that's a metric that lasts for a month. They don't do that again for another month. It used to be quarterly, now it's monthly. So the market is going to have some, you can use the term guidance. It's going to have an idea of what's going to happen, and people are going to be more comfortable making a choice as to what they're going to do with crypto. And right now, crypto is kind of on the downslide. If we take a look at Bitcoin itself, the charts are looking a little bearish, and the algos themselves are looking a bit bearish. So what you're looking at right now is a daily chart. Each one of these candles is a day. It's worth of price action. Actually, it's 18 hours, but that's just a technicality. And right now, I think price is going to fall down into this 35,000 to 38,000 area. As a matter of fact, I have a great tool that tells us where the liquidity is on the exchanges, especially on the derivatives exchanges, and it's called the Kingfisher. And a link to this, a referral link, is in the description of this video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see where all the liquidity is for Bitcoin, at least on Binance. Now, you can get it on all the different exchanges here, but I'm going to go ahead and see here where the liquidity is to the downside. Right now, the charts favor a move down, according to my algorithm. So, I'm thinking that price will head down. And there's a spike in liquidity. There's one at about 37,200. There's one at 36,000. So if we go back to the chart, let's remember these numbers, 37.2 and about 36. I already have it marked out at 36.5 from earlier, so we can move that down just a hair to 36. And remember, these numbers change all the time, so we always have to be monitoring these and adjusting as things happen, right? But it does seem that the metrics are floating around that mid 30s, say high 36, low 37, all the liquidity's in this area. So once price is ready, I do believe it will head down there, and the trajectory of this move right now does have it realistically heading down, say anytime between now and the end of the month, right? I mean, it could head down really quickly, or it could simply range in this area and then make its way down later. But I do think that the FOMC will have something to do with what happens. So whatever happens, I think will happen in the next week or so. And that's going to affect Solana, which is why I am holding off on making a decision until the FOMC. So that's number one. My first condition as to when I'm going to buy this has to do with the FOMC, what happens with Bitcoin. And so let's roll back over to Investopedia. It does say that, just a quick explainer, the FOMC, for those of you who might be new to this, the FOMC serves as the monetary policy-making arm of the Federal Reserve System, and its decisions have far-reaching implications for the U.S. economy. Okay, they meet 8 times a year, and occasionally more if the situation demands, which right now it seems to. The FOMC deliberates the nation's interest rates and other financial policies. So now that we've covered this pretty well, and I think Investopedia is just a really good resource for, I mean, they seem to not even be politically slanted, which in this days is miraculous. I would check out Investopedia anytime you have any questions about investment. Speaking of investment, nothing we say on here is investment advice, right? Everything that we say is for entertainment and education purposes only. All right, let's make sure that you talk to a licensed investment advisor before you risk your money in the markets, because you can actually lose your money by doing so. Okay, back to the charts here. Let's take a quick look at Solana now that we have our timeline. We have our timeline out to, say, the 1st of February, 31st of January. That's going to be where I start to take a look at the algorithms as to when I think either Bitcoin may have bottomed or not. You know, you can see a couple lines down here deeper where I found some liquidity yesterday. Price could easily keep going down. We don't know yet, and my algorithms that I have built that are very simple to build, that I can show you how to build over at Algo Factory, will give me an idea as to whether or not I think Bitcoin has actually bottomed. And when that happens, I'm going to be interested in Solana. So let's take a quick look on the Solana chart. Solana is in a similar downslide, but it's actually showing a bit more strength than Bitcoin. Now, I actually have the ability to find Solana liquidity on the Kingfisher. We're going to do that right now. So let's find Solana's liquidity on Binance. And we're going to see if this gives us any clues as to whether or not, you know, price will go to a certain area. On the downside, we have a fair amount at $83.41 and a nice spike up at about 71. So let's remember these numbers: 71.40 and say 83.40. 71.40 and 83.40. And let's mark these out on the chart. We got 71.40, which is right about here, more or less, and 83.40, which is really close to price right now. It's just a little bit lower, right? So let me get rid of this older. Well, that might even apply. Let's take a look back at the liquidity. We do have some liquidity down at, say, $63.50 and $66. So let's just see. We could put some more down here just to, you know, just to look at some lower numbers. And that way, in case Solana does fall down further, we have some idea of where it could go. And let's put a line out through the beginning of February, or the end of March, really, or the end of January, really, to have an idea when these things might happen. So money is waiting on the sidelines until the FOMC does their thing. And right now, crypto is in a bit of a bearish moment. Doesn't mean it's going to stay there, but right now, with no liquidity, with no money coming into the market, Bitcoin is probably going to continue to sell off, and as such, Solana will do the same. So that's probably what's going to happen. And these levels that we're looking at are levels where price might go to in the case that it does fall. It's going to want to head towards these lines right here, because that's liquidity. That's where there is a place for people to have their orders filled, especially the big traders know that. If I know it, they know it. And if you're trading like stocks and you're trading Forex and things like that, you should be able to get that data if you want to pay $20,000 a month for a Bloomberg terminal, but here we get it for free. Isn't that great? So let me take a quick look at the algos. Right now, Solana actually short-term wants to go up a little bit, right? But I want to look, higher time frame on the weekly, Solana does want to come down. It is a little bit bearish, but for the very moment, it does seem like it's going to hold at the current level at this area. So I do expect Solana in the near term possibly to hang out up here just a little bit, maybe even consolidate, and then start to make its way down It might not happen as I've done it here, like in this time frame, but I do expect Solana to stay where it is a little bit and then eventually make its way down to this nearby 83.40 liquidity level. So that's what's going on. You have, when I'm going to do that, it's based on data. Just like the Fed does, they base everything on data. And if you have any questions, please come over to algofactory.tech. We can teach you how to build algorithms, and they're actually way more simple than people think. An algorithm is a simple thing. I got a video called What is an Algorithm? It's probably a good video to watch over on YouTube. In the meantime, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube, or if you're on X, please follow my profile and go ahead and like that video, and we will catch you on the next one. Don't forget, algofactory.tech. Trade your job, upgrade your life. All right, hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. On the screen there, you can see our website, algofactory.tech. Tap that QR code to take you straight there. I'm also very active on X. That's algo_factory777. We got TikTok and Rumble. In the meantime, we hope to see you over at the website. Come on over, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you there.